Hi, I'm Bill from Bioguard. I'm here with Edward. Edward's a new homeowner, and with that new home came a pool. I'm going to run through all the basics of pool care with Edward to make sure he knows how to maintain and keep his system running really well. It's very important to make sure we know how much water is actually in this pool. By knowing the amount of water in the pool, we can make sure the chemistries we add are correct, and we can make sure our filter and our pump are running correctly as well. So the first step, measuring. We know the length is 6.8 metres, the width is 3.9 metres. To work out the average depth is the shallow end, which was 1.1 metre, plus the deep end, 1.9 metres, equals a total of 3 metres. We divide that by 2 to work out the average, which gives us an average of 1.5. So we multiply all of them together, 6.8 multiplied 3.9 multiplied by 1.5 equals 39.78. We multiply by 1,000 to give us the litres, 39,780 litres. Now we know the size of the pool, we know the correct dosage rate for our chemicals and how long to run the pump and filter. It is very important that all pool owners understand circulation and filtration. Circulation is moving the water through the entire system, and this is achieved by the pump. Filtration is how we clean the water, and it starts at the skimmer box. The skimmer box captures large particles such as leaves and flowers. The water then is pumped through to the filter where small particles are captured. Clean water then gets pumped out the other side and returned to the pool via the return jet. Your water level should be maintained about halfway up through the skimmer box inlet. This allows the weir door to work correctly. The weir door is there to stop debris from flowing out of the skimmer basket when the system is turned off. So this is the skimmer box. First we turn the pump off. Inside here we can reach in and get the skimmer basket out. Sometimes takes a little bit of a wiggle. Lots of unwanted debris in there. Empty that out. Inspect the skimmer basket for cracks. Doesn't work if they've got cracks in it. Plug it back in. Shut the lid. The pump basket is also a big part of our circulation and filtration and must be cleaned regularly. With the pump off, we need to release the pump basket lid and reach inside to get our pump basket. It's tempting to tap this on something hard like the ground or your pipes, but they can be quite brittle. So use your hands to tap out all the debris that has been caught over time. This one's not too bad, but you could also take a garden hose to that and clean that a little more. Make sure you seat it back in the correct position where it came from. Put our lid back on. Tighten, but don't over tighten. When we turn our pump back on, we want to make sure it kicks in properly. This is what we call priming. That's where all the water is filling up all the air spaces and running smoothly through the whole system. To do that, we turn our system on. Most pumps nowadays can self-prime, and they'll do that themselves. We can't really see it on this pump, but we'll be able to see how the water flow is in our salt cell. On the top of every media filter, we have this black device called a multi-port valve. This is how we change the water flow that comes in and out of our system, especially in regards to our filtration device, this giant filter. As you can see right now, we've got it set on the primary setting, which is filter or filtration. We've also got waste. Waste is how we get the water to leave the system. We have closed, which means we actually close the port valve, the multi-port valve off completely. Down the bottom here underneath is backwash. That's how we perform, that's the setting we put it on when we want to perform a backwash. We have recirculate. That recirculates the water through the system, bypassing the filter altogether. And we've got rinse. Rinse is an important step in backwashing, but after the backwash is performed, we get to settle the sand properly again in its media bed. Backwashing is the process in which how we clean our filter. First thing we have to do is make sure our pump is off. This will stop the water flow to the system. The next thing is on our multi-port valve, we need to move our handle all the way down to the backwash location. It can be a bit tight. That's moving the setting within the multi-port valve, so now we will be backwashing the water to waste. Once we're in the backwash position, we can then return on the system, engaging the pump. Once our backwash cycle is complete or our sight glass is sufficiently clear, we now can put the multi-port valve to the rinse position. Rinsing after a backwash allows the sand to resettle in the correct position once again in your filter media bed. If you don't do this, you can risk damage to your system. The rinse cycle only needs to be performed for 20 to 30 seconds to let that sand resettle. Once you've completed your rinse cycle, do not forget to put the filter back onto the filtration setting. The way you measure efficiency with your filter is through your filter gauge. It's measured in PSI. The way to work out your baseline for your filter pressure gauge is after a clean or after a backwash. That'll give you an indicator of where the baseline or the running pressure should be of this system. If you see an increase of 10 or more PSI, you can say that that filter really needs a clean or a chemical fix with Filter Bright. In Australia and New Zealand, generally we have two different types of pools, a salt pool and a freshwater pool or a chlorine pool. In our freshwater pool, we add chlorine manually to the system to make sure we have enough chlorine to kill bacteria. This is 1 to 3 parts per million of chlorine. In a saltwater system, we add salt to the pool water which dissolves. Then through a process of electrolysis at the salt cell, that salt is converted into chlorine. In either case, this is how we sanitize our system. So that's a step-by-step introduction into basic pool care. How do you think it went?
That went very well. It was very easy to follow, and thank you very much, Bioguard.